Hello, everyone, and welcome to another podcast in the General Life podcast. So, today we're going to talk about the rise of automation. So, let's jump into it. Let's begin. So, how long do you think we have until machines do better, do better things than we can? I mean, the answer will shock you. Here's why: automation isn't coming; it's already here, guys. You see, I went to a McDonald's restaurant a few days ago, and I was stunned to find out that all the counters were removed. I mean, the only thing that was left was probably the people that's working there. You know, like the uh, the workers that were just walking around doing absolutely nothing. And the only way that you were gonna order something was you got to order through the self serve kiosk, which was very easy to use. Thank God for that. I mean, I was stunned. I was stunned when I was waiting for my coffee, and the workers they were just standing around doing absolutely nothing because there's literally nothing to do. What else can you do, man? They're not at the cashier anymore serving customers, so what else can they do? I mean, they didn't have to serve anybody at the counter because there's no counters left. They didn't have to take any orders from customers because there was no need to. So why are they there in the first place? That's the one question that you have to ask. I mean, has automation have just replaced these people to doing nothing? But I think I'm asking the wrong question here. The real question is, do Maccas need the workers anymore? You know, the rise of automation is inevitable because of the need to make systems more efficient and cost effective. I mean, automation has led to self-landing planes. You know, most of the time, if you're on a plane, when when they come into land, they land by themselves. The pilot can put the plane in autopilot, where it just you set so you set a certain speed, a airspeed, you set the altitude, and the plane will stay in that position all the way to your destination. I mean, it's pretty high tech shit. I mean, yeah. Um, Financial companies are also using high frequency trading, you know, to trade stocks. So basically, they can trade a stock in a blink of an eye, much faster than a human can. And yeah, eventually, um, the stock traders will be replaced by machines. In the future, it's gonna happen because they can trade a lot faster than they can, and they probably can make more profits too. Because if you're running on algorithms, you can react very quickly. You can react to a market going up and a market going down. So you can basically short or long the market and make heaps of money. And in the future, there's going to be self-driving cars, but it might not happen straight away. It won't happen overnight, is because self-driving cars there's so many legalities surrounding that. For example, if if you were to drive next to a self-driving car and then the car hits you, so who's at fault? Really, the owner of the car or the owner of the self-driving software? I mean, they set the car to do what it did. So who's going to be at fault? There's going to be a lot of legalities around self-driving cars. I don't see self-driving cars happening in the future because, for one, legalities, and second, you're driving with human beings. Computers cannot predict human behavior. You know, there's different people. We're different people. Everyone's different. We drive differently. We act differently, and a machine will have to compensate for all of that. And I don't think it can. But that's another podcast altogether. So let's move on. I mean, but there's fears that automation will lead to eroding human rights. The rights of workers and possibility of shrinking um, job markets, which is true because in the future machines will replace humans. But let's not get sidetracked here. I mean, let's dive a little bit deeper. You see, the steam engine kick-started the industrial revolution. That was the last revolution that we had by transitioning a lot of hand production processes to machines. You know, during this revolution, tools and mechanized factories were developed, and the steam engine eliminated a lot of the jobs that were originally done by people. But the Industrial Revolution also created jobs. But here's the kicker though: the Industrial Revolution created jobs for other industries, such as, I don't know, factory workers in the textile industry, but it eliminated other jobs as well, such as blacksmiths and other craftsmen. The industrial revolution also eliminated child labor, which is a very good thing. Child labor is not really good. I mean, they're children, man. They're supposed to be in school and learning, not freaking working their asses off. So thank God that's done and dusted, and it's not happening anymore. I mean, it's still happening around the world, but it's a lot prevalent. It's not as prevalent as before, which is a good thing. I mean, the same thing is happening right now as we enter the information revolution, which we are in right now. I mean, automation and AI has the potential to replace a lot of professional jobs or even entire economies. Accountants, lawyers, truck drivers, construction workers, factory workers, etc., etc. Or in the firing line in the automated world. You see, a machine can do math. It can count, divide, it can subtract and multiply much faster than an accountant. A machine can probably balance a balance sheet a lot faster. It can probably see incomes and expenses. It can subtract and divide, multiply a lot faster than a human can. So maybe in the future, accounting jobs will be obsolete. Lawyers, you see, if you give a lawyer let's say a bill, like you've written up like a contract or something like that, right? It will take a lawyer, let's say 90 minutes to read the contract to see if you have complied with the law and see if that contract has breached any laws. It'll probably take him or her 90 minutes to actually go through that contract. Right? And then you got to pay that person, God knows, $200 per hour just for him to read that crap. Why not just give it to a machine, right? You give it to a machine, you just scan it into a machine, and the machine will probably read it in 20 seconds. And you only got to pay what, $10? Not much. Because the machine doesn't take very long to read. I mean, in the future, AI will be able to read a contract in just a few seconds, right? Truck drivers, I mean, right now they're testing trucks with no drivers in them. I mean, the truck is just driving by itself. It's a bit scary, but they're doing it right now. And so far, it's working, which is, I feel really sorry for truck drivers. But then again, would you rather have a truck drive itself or a truck driver who is tired, overworked, and probably high on drugs just to try and stay awake? I'd rather have. I feel sorry for the truck driver, but I'd rather have automated trucks driving around if that's the case. But then again, like I said, self-driving vehicles, a lot of illegalities. Construction workers, yeah, you can replace them with robots. There's no argument there. I mean, any sort of labor job which requires labor can be replaced by a robot. Factory workers, don't even talk about factory workers. Man, easily replaced by machines. Easily. So to understand automation, we have to first understand ourselves, ourselves as humans. As we progress through history, our jobs has become more specialized. There's no such thing as a jack of all trades anymore. Very rare. Although machines are crap at doing complex tasks, they're very good at doing predictable tasks, such as welding joints and spray painting a surface. This was what destroyed factory jobs. But even though machines cannot perform complex tasks, we humans, we have the ability to compartmentalize and divide complex tasks to smaller tasks, from which machines can be programmed to perform in a predictable manner. We can write codes, algorithms, and pattern recognition software from which machines can use to learn. This is made possible because tech companies have been collecting huge amounts of data from us for a very long time. Let's face it, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they've been collecting stuff on us ever since these social media platforms have been created. Google too. Google as well. They see your search search cookies. They can see your search history. They can see all of that. They can use that. It's not your data once you use their search engines. Just know that. They have information on things that we buy on the internet, the places we frequent, the amount of friends we have on social media, etc., etc. They have created a huge archive of data from which machines can harness to become better at performing specific tasks better than humans can. These machines might be the death of many jobs in the future, for their capacity and speed of learning can be replicated and upscaled at minimal cost. It doesn't cost anything to replicate a machine. It's basically just copy and paste. This race to embrace automation and AI doesn't help the fact that as the population grows, we need to create new jobs to sustain economic growth. We have to, and in the past we did this through innovation, and we're still doing that. But man, for decades, job creation has been on decline, which is bad news, because without job growth, it will start to affect the standard of living for everybody. Because here's the kicker, man. Here's the kicker right here. Did you guys know that we're working the same amount of hours from, let's say, a decade ago, with much higher productivity levels? Oh wow! So we're working the same amount of hours and we're more productive. But is it us being more productive? Let's keep going. And we have more businesses than ever before. Our population has never been higher than ever before. I mean, how is that even possible? How is productivity higher, but with no increases in the amount of hours worked? How's that even possible? Well, this means that productivity is being separated from human labor. It's been happening for decades without us knowing it. So, in a nutshell, the world has become more productive, right, with less hours worked. But if we're not working those hours, what is? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's through machines. Right? The higher productivity is coming from machines. So our economy is based on the premise that people will consume. So basically the economy, we're running on a consumer economy right here. But what happens if fewer and fewer people are working? So where is the consumption going to come from? Yeah, sure, the world is more productive, but we're not working more hours. So if we're not working more hours, we're not getting paid more. So where is the consumption gonna come from? What? We can't consume if we don't have enough money. And plus, wages are going down all over the world. So where is that consumption gonna come from? Right? What's the point of companies chasing cheaper production costs, selling for lower prices, and having big profit margins when consumers are broke? All of us are broke. So there will be a ceiling from which there will be a ceiling on spending. It's gonna come to a point where we cannot spend anymore. We're capped. We're tapped. We're tapping out. We're tapping out. The consumers will be tapped out, because if we're not working more, we're not earning more, we're not gonna spend more. So maybe in the future there will be a global recession, just because people just ran out of money. That's the basic of economics 101, supply and demand. If we don't have any money, there is going to be no demand for the goods and services that are being provided. So that means if there's no demand, there's gonna be no supply of money going through. So basically, we will probably head towards a global recession, not because of some war that's gonna be started, or like another 9/11 or a terrorist attack, or some crash in the stock market. Nah, it's probably gonna happen is because people will stop spending. We just don't have any more money. We tapped out. We have no more money left, right? So are there any solutions to this automation phenomenon? Is there a solution to this? Maybe, maybe an introduction of a robot tax, or a more radical idea of social basic income. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a fan of all this, but these are the possible solutions. They're not my solutions. I do not know what universal basic income means, but from the looks of things, it sounds as if you're receiving free money, welfare. But I haven't done the research, so we will see. And a robot tax. I mean, if government starts to tax robots, because it's taking away jobs. Who knows? I mean, I haven't done any research into this, but there might be solutions, but we'll see.